What's going on, guys? It's Corey with Colorado Cold Bloods, and
Aaron, Colorado Cold Bloods.
so we got another clutch update coming for you. This one's cool. Something we do just because we enjoy making them. So first of all, I'm going to start out with the female that produced. So this one here, this is our girl Meringue. So Meringue is a bumblebee that is 100% het for TSK Axanthic. So you can see a nice full-grown bumblebee, pastel and spider. So that's basically how they age. A lot of times they kind of brown out a little bit on the top. Typically that's kind of what the pastel does, but pattern's cool, the colors are cool. The babies look really cool, and in general we like to do this pairing honestly because zebra bees are pretty awesome. They're just stunning animals. So anyway, regardless of your take on spider, we do very minimal pairings, as you can tell. There is this girl, and then we have an ultramel spider girl that we pair. But with that, we'll show the male.
This is Orion. I know nothing of what he is.
He's a TSK Axanthic, and he is 100% het for pied.
I guess Axanthic, but I forgot what line, so that's why I didn't say anything.
Yep. So with that, he actually originally came from M&H ball pythons. So super cool people, and we appreciate the animals. So anyway, now with that, we'll go to our unofficial sponsors of the video here. So Sloan Reptiles, fantastic people. Definitely appreciate Nick and Justin over there. Great folks. I know Nick and Troy have been doing the All-American Rep Plant. My goodness, all AARPE, which is All-American Reptile and Plant Expo. So with that, they did a killer job putting on that show. Fantastic crowd, and in general, it's really good to kind of see, the additional plant people and everything like that in there as well. So they did really good, and I think it's a symbiotic relationship with the plant folks. So anyway, with that.
Speaking of also another show promoters, I'm doing Herps, which I know you can't really see, but it definitely is Herps. That is Sean and Lori over in Texas. Yeah, they're in Bryan College Station, Texas. They put on the Herp shows. They're really cool people. They've established the Herps family, and basically once you're in that family, you're in for life. So they're great people. The people that do the shows are great. If you can vend with them, definitely highly recommend doing it.
It's always a blast. There's a reason they call it a family, because everybody's like family and takes care of everybody. So anyway, with that, let's go and jump into the clutch and we'll check them out. What's going on, guys? It's Corey. Once again, I'm back, and this time this one is going to be clutch number 5. So clutch number 5 is our visual TSK Axanthic male. He was 100% het for pied, and he went to our female Meringue, who is a bumblebee, so a pastel spider, and she is 100% het for TSK Axanthic. So with that, you can guess that the main thing we're aiming for is we wanted to see some more zebra bees, right? Except that that's not really what we were doing. Yes, that becomes a fun side effect, but really what we were hoping for is some Axanthics or pastel Axanthics that were hopefully het for pied, female. It's one thing we've been waiting for. We do want to make some Axanthic pieds. So anyway, why not make our own ingredients here, right? So anyway, with that, let's go ahead and jump into this clutch. Because the father was a visual, that means that all of these are going to be 100% het. So here we have our very first one. This is a pastel, 100% het for TSK Axanthic. So one of the things I will say in general is that Axanthic and hypo stuff, there's no hypo in this, but Axanthic and hypo stuff, I've noticed that a lot of the babies are they tend to be brighter in general when they're hets. Not always, but I think that for a standard pastel, this looks really nice. So, alrighty, the next one we're going to jump into is the normal. That is he is going to be 100% het for TSK Axanthic. The other thing I forgot to mention on the last one is that also means that because he was a het for Pied, that they are also going to be 50% het for Pied. So we can check for tracks. There's no tracks on this baby, so he's probably just he or she is probably just a straight het TSK. Not guaranteed by any means. They could still be a het without those tracks, but pastel kind of wipes the belly out a little bit anyway, as you can see. So there's a very strong possibility that this could be a het for Pied with those markers. But again, pastels can kind of clear out a belly, so you're not guaranteed with that. Alrighty, so next thing we're going to jump into, we have a gorgeous little bumblebee that is again het for Axanthic, 50% het for Pied. So one of the reasons that we weren't necessarily aiming for a het Pied on the spider side of the table, like I said, we don't do that many spider pairings in general, to be honest. It's a cool genetic, but obviously it has its issues, right? Now, that being said, one of the reasons for that is spider pieds typically only have pattern on the head and they're a full white body. So some people like that. That's not really the way that I want to go with it, especially if we're going with an Axanthic pied. That's not really where I would lead personally. So with that, it's cool to have that all white snake with that colored head. But there you are, and there's a gorgeous little bumblebee. Alrighty, and then we will jump to the next bumblebee. So this is a very, very pretty bumblebee. I love how kind of deep, dark blacks the actual patterning is. You know, they've definitely got the cool spider head that comes with it. This one, I have a suspicion is probably going to be the het pied, but again, you know, it's with how much reduction in pattern and stuff, it's hard to necessarily say. But there's a lot of reduced pattern towards the tail. That's where my suspicions are. But absolutely gorgeous. And on top of that, truthfully, het pied, in general, we've noticed that het pieds just tend to be brighter, and honestly, they tend to actually hold their color over time better, personally. That's just my personal observation. But anyway, so there is a gorgeous little bumblebee, het TSK, possible het pied. Alrighty, so now what we've all been waiting for, the silver snakes. So we have a pastel TSK Axanthic that is 50% het for pied. Although those track marks are pretty telling. Like I said about the previous pastel, pastels can tend to do that. So not 100% guarantee by any means, just a nice indicator that gives a pretty solid clue. The other thing too is if you look at the tail and the extension on that patterning back there, that's another kind of clue and hint because that's it attempting to kind of create those trackings. So anyway, definitely this was one of the target goal animals for this. Like I said, we weren't really necessarily aiming for a zebra bee because we're trying to actually make our own het pied females. So I know we ended up with one male and one female on these, and I will show you the other now. There's another pastel Axanthic, 50% het for pied. And like I said, you can see some really crazy track marks. So that's got a decent possibility in there. So, and one of these is a male and one of these is a female. So the female will be staying with us. But there we are. Now, so the culmination of the clutch, what we always love to make because they're just stunning. There is the zebra bee. So this one, if I recall correctly, is a female. Gendered them for a couple days here, so with that, if I'm remembering correctly, this was a female. See if she'll behave long enough for you guys. Oh, this one was a boy. So I am remembering inaccurately. So, good job, Roy. All right. There we go. So anyway, there is our zebra bee. So zebra bee is a pastel spider, and it is a visual axanthic. So the axanthic is what essentially turns it silver, obviously. The pastel kind of cleans up all these sides, pulls up those nice whites, and then you basically get that kind of black and white striping like you would see on a zebra. So that's where they get their nickname. So this baby is also obviously going to be 50% het for pied. So, oh my goodness, settle down. I love the head on this baby though. It's such a cool head stamp. Come on, there we go. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. You know, there's something about a nice black and white snake, basically, right? That kind of silver color just makes it really, really cool. You know, as a kind of a bonus here at the end, we'll show you what an adult zebra bee looks like. See if she will behave for me temporarily while I show her off for you. So this is a girl that we produced a few years ago. So she's very shy. She's actually, you'll see that pink belly. Hopefully. She's actually going into shed. So she's not quite as bright as she normally is, but there you go. You can get an idea. Remember I mentioned on the mother how you'll get a little bit of that kind of brown out. So the difference is on the axanthics, it's going to be more of a silver in that brown, and you will get some light yellow tones in there. So axanthic isn't necessarily able to produce the yellow pigmentation exactly, or it has a reduction in the ability to produce that. So that's why you'll see a little bit of that color. But there you are. So anyway, again, I hope you guys enjoyed.